So Sydia, I've been thinking about taking some sewing lessons, but this is not what I have in mind. I need something more
modern?
Yeah.
You know, you should check out the Whipstich. You know, the modern sewing and fabric shop that used to be located in the Beehive.
Oh, the one in Edgewood.
No, the one in Buckhead.
But isn't the Beehive in Edgewood?
You know, I think it's best I let Deborah explain.
I started out actually as a store within the store. I was a clothing designer, children's clothing designer for years, and I was part of Beehive Co-op when it was located in Buckhead. Beehive moved from where they are in Buckhead to their current location. We moved out at the same time and took over this space. So we now have 5 times the space that we used to have. Our classroom is twice as big. We offer 4 times as many classes as we did a year and a half ago, and we have quadrupled the inventory.
Okay, I hear you, but when you say modern, how modern are we talking?
A lot of people think, especially women sort of my age, sort of in that 18 to 40 age range, a lot of us think of sewing as being very old-fashioned, and it was something that our grandmothers did and our mothers did, and we didn't want to learn how to do it because it was too dated. And as time has gone on, and most of us have sort of gotten older and had homes of our own and developed sort of an aesthetic of our own, more and more women want to learn to sew because they're beginning to see opportunities to bring that into a modern lifestyle.
Seriously, Krystal, everything has become more modern, from quilting to apparel making. Where have you been? As Deborah always says,
God bless Project Runway for making all of us more aware of what we can do with our own 2 hands.
Okay, I get it. Whipstitch is more than just sewing machines and outdated patterns.
OMG. I think you are finally getting it, Krystal. Whipstitch introduces you to new techniques, new skills, and a whole world of inspiration.
So the Whipstitch approach really is to bring sewing and fabric and sort of a design aesthetic into the modern day.
But Krystal, just wait until you see where they're located. It's in one of those places that's
very hip without being trendy. Who live in this part of town have been overjoyed as soon as they find us. They just lose their minds because there aren't any other fabric shops inside the perimeter who do anything close to what we do, and most fabric stores in general are outside the perimeter. So for someone who lives in Midtown or Buckhead or on the west side, you know, you're driving 20-30 minutes just to get to a store that may or may not have anything that you like.
That isn't even the best part, Krystal. They go that extra yard, no pun intended, and carry small and local pattern and fabric designers.
We work very hard to stock only patterns that are produced by these smaller individuals, and some of them have become household names. Amy Butler, Anna Marie Horner, Patty Young owns a company called Mod Kid, but they're not carried by chain stores because these are our smaller cottage industries. And so we really are delighted to offer those to our customers, something they can't get anywhere else, certainly not in town. We do the same thing with a lot of local fabric designers. We have a number of really talented fabric designers who live here in town. And so we work really hard to make sure that if there's a fabric designer who lives here in town, that we carry their whole collection so that they've got that hometown support, and so that people here in Atlanta can see and touch and understand exactly how much talent we have right here in town.
Sydia, I'm sold. But there's one small problem. I still can't sew.
Well, that's easy to solve. All you have to do is sign up for one of their classes, series, workshop, or events.
We start with an introductory series. That's a 4-class series. That's really, you know, sort of the catchphrase is 0 to stitch in 4 weeks. And so we take people from the absolute beginning, parts of the machine, how to thread it, how to wind a bobbin, how to sew in a straight line, all the way through zippers and piping and reversible. I found is that a lot of educated professionals, you know, once you get to be a certain age, you don't really want to take 8 weeks to learn how to sew in a straight line and you haven't made anything yet. So each of our classes, every time you come in for a session, you leave with a finished product. So we also have an intermediate series that follows after the introductory series that does more apparel skills. We do a pattern series so that we teach people how to choose a pattern, read a pattern, pick the right size, choose their fabric, put it together, and actually assemble a garment from scratch. Lots of workshops outside of that. We do home decor workshops like pillows and bed coverings and window treatments and things like that. We do a number of quilting projects, so we do lots of modern quilting. We have the local Modern Sewing Guild who comes in twice a month for meetings. So they do free workshops, they do guided practice. And so we really are working hard through our classes to attract people who want to join the community and learn to sew and make that a bigger part of their lives, but with a really clean, modern aesthetic. Kids classes for ages 5 through 16, including summer camps for kids and for tweens. And most of those are really taught to a certain degree, like private lessons, but in a group setting. So the kids get to work alongside one another and learn from each other, but at the same time they're always taught at their own pace. Because we found that when kids come in, even more so than adults, they have a lot of ideas and things that they like to make, and they really are looking to be guided through the skills for how to do that. I'm Deborah Mobies from Whipstich Fabrics. We're located in West Midtown, and personally, I think everybody should learn how to sew. So we want to invite you down to Whipstich, come learn to sew with us, and learn to passionately love sewing.